We come to you, God, today, and I want to come and approach you, God, in reverence as the almighty God that you are. We want to honor you and acknowledge just your goodness to us and who you are and all that you do for us. Today, God, I want to pray specifically for this meeting, this board, and our school system. God, today I want to pray specifically over every family that is represented by each student. I pray for the families of our community. I pray, God, that your hands of blessing would be on them as a family. I pray, God, for strong homes and strong families here in our community. God, today I want to pray specifically over this board and this meeting. I pray, God, that you would give them the ability to lead with wisdom and discernment that can come from you. I pray, God, that you would encourage them, that you would keep them strong, and I thank you for their service to our community in this way. And so, Lord, I just ask that your hands would be on and over, and your covering would be over this meeting and our schools day in and day out. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Farr, will you call the roll, please?
Dr. Moriarty?
Here.
Mrs. Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Powers?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mrs. Pritchett?
Here. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to have the approval of the agenda and addendum with the following items. Items added, 7.07. Items updated, 7.06, 18.05, and 3.01 moved to action. May I
So moved.
Second.
have a motion by Ms. Powers, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, items of consent. Before we get a motion, is there anyone who would like to speak about any of these items of consent on the agenda?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second. Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Roberts. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. So we are going to start, we're going on the agenda. We have the Treasure Coast Regional Math Counts, Dr. Paige McMahon. We're going to wait till 4:30 till the student arrives. So we're going to go with our district presentations. Jamie Paulson, student representative, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a little while. I had a lot of things to do, but I'm so happy to be back, so thank you. So starting off with Gentry Beach High School, both the Key Club and student government teamed up with Junior Achievement to teach students in grades K through 2 at Felix A. Williams all about financial literacy through hands-on lessons. Falcon basketball star Lizzie Fitzwater was selected to be among many elite players as part of the ESPN Top 63 for girls basketball. The Falcon wrestling team had an amazing showing at the state championships earlier this month. Four boys and one girl placed in the top 10, and the boys team placed overall in 6th place. Sebastian DeGennaro also made history as the Falcons' first ever 4-time state champion. The JBHS Jubilee Choir earned straight superiors at the District 13 MPA. The JBHS Concert and Symphonic Bands also earned superiors at their MPA and a rare perfect score for their symphonic band. South Fork High School. The South Fork boys wrestling recently had their district meet. Out of the 10 boys that wrestled, we have 4 moving on to regionals next weekend. Please congratulate the following athletes when you see them. Sean Barnes, 2nd place. Drake Jarb, 3rd place. Carson Kritoff, 3rd place. And Miller Gavel, 4th place. Amazing. Please congratulate us all students that play in concert band and wind ensemble on their incredible performances at the Music Performance Assessment. Wind ensemble received a superior in the sight reading room and received an overall excellent for their performance. Concert band received straight superiors for the first time in school history. Please join me in congratulating the choir students on their amazing performances at their district musical performance assessments. All 3 choirs, concert, choral, carillon, treble, and carillon, received straight superiors on stage. SFHS drama students competed at the Florida State Thespian Festival in Tampa over spring break, each one earning high scores for their performances and technical presentations. They competed among the best of the best across the state and did us proud. Michael Jones received Excellent Solo Musical and Superior Marketing. Mara Bryan received Excellent Solo Musical. Emery Wilcox and Holly Beers received Superior Duet Acting. Sabrina Zambrano received Superior Solo Musical. And Natalia Caraballo received Superior Solo Musical. We are beyond proud to announce that John Smith, an outstanding avid student at South Fork High School, has been named a Dell Scholar. John's dedication, perseverance, and commitment to academic excellence have paid off in a big way. As a Dell Scholar, he will receive a $20,000 scholarship, a laptop, and ongoing support to help him succeed in college and beyond. Congratulations to the students who excelled at the 2025 Martin County District History Fair. First place, which is the website, Where's Our Mail, the United States Army, the 6668. First place, paper, Sanaya Delancey, Comfort Women. Second place, Aidan Roy and Doug Ray, Australia. First place, Jalissa Jones and Alasia Green, Scotland. Please congratulate the following students for passing their certification and veterinary assisting exams. With their successes, 64 students have passed this exam this year, resulting in a 97% pass rate. Please congratulate the following turf students for earning their landscape maintenance technician certificates. Henry Perez, Junior Santo Diego, Richard Wilholt, Emmanuel Fuentes, Daniel Saravano, Gavin Egert. Also, Samuel Bagwell earned the FNGLA Certified Horticulture Professional Certificate. And finally, Martin County High School. The MCHS Culinary Arts team competed at the Florida Pro Star competition this month and made history. Congratulations to the team for winning the Governor's Cup or first place overall. Additionally, Briar Stoney, Ella Carbo, Davis Scott, and Colin Blackwell earned first place in their events. In third place, Clay Richer, Zoe Crizzle, Jennifer Sanchez, Olivia DeCuna, Sarah Duda, Ethan Barrios, Chris Klingen, Constantino Padavano, and Jameer Lewin. The MCHS Symphonic Band and Winds Ensemble performed today for adjudication at MPA districts at Sebastian River High School. Symphonic Band earned superior in sight reading and straight excellent ratings for their prepared pieces. They had an overall rating of excellent. Wind Ensemble earned superior in sight reading, and our student conductor, Ross White, earned a superior. The MCHS CTE wants to give a huge shout out to all our amazing CTE students who competed in the Skills USA regional contest in February. A special congratulations to our medalists and students that qualified for states: Adam Soto, Lily Larson, Taylor Gibson, Ella Smith, New Vaughn, Sebastian Burgund, Charles Brown, Devin Craddy, Ethan Eddy, Alex Mayer. Let's wish them the best of luck as they move to represent MCHS at the state contests in Jacksonville this April. DECA traveled to Orlando for the state tournament in March. Hutchinson Hughes and Morgan Williams competed in entrepreneurship, team decision-making category and came in 16th place. In addition, the DECA VP, Abby Canizares, was also awarded with a DECA Leadership Scholarship. Congratulations, Tigers, and that is the rest of my notes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. District update, Derek Lowe.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Main, and Madam Chair Pritchett. It is my pleasure to bring you this month's district update. I'm also Derek Lowe, Coordinator of Public Information. Kicking things off this year, Martin County's Regional Science and Engineering Fair showcased the incredible ingenuity and passion of our students from elementary to high school. More than 200 elementary students participated in the district STEM Fair showcase, with Jensen Beach Elementary earning the best performing school. In the secondary competition, nearly 80 projects were submitted, with 13 of our students advancing to the state finals. Their projects explored a wide range of scientific fields, from environmental science to artificial intelligence. Students were honored for their projects during the STEM Fair Awards ceremony hosted by WPTV Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel. And a huge thank you to the Education Foundation of Martin County for their sponsorship and support in making this event a success, and congratulations to all of our students who showcase their incredible talents in STEM. Let's watch a quick video recap of this year's STEM showcase.
It's where STEM ignites innovation and creativity and curiosity collide. At the Martin County STEM Fair Showcase, we cranked up the tunes and let our students take center stage.
My name is Juniper Urbe. I go to Felix A. Williams and I'm in 4th grade. It was about ants and to see if they like equal, Splenda, or sugar. And they happen to like sugar the most.
The showcase was a true celebration of academic excellence, featuring hands-on activities and exciting discoveries.
The purpose of this event is to really celebrate all of our scientists and engineers. We really want to showcase their hard work, their knowledge, what they are bringing to the table, the future of our world. And then we also invited some food truck partners and a DJ to help turn this up a notch and make it like more of a festive event.
But the real stars of the night are students and their incredible STEM Fair projects.
My project is about which out of these 3 filters that I have selected is the best at collecting impurities in dirty water.
So I did a continuation project where I added 2 layers of europium instead of just the one, compared to 1 layer of europium, and then compared to just the plain UV film.
Our students aren't just learning science.
I really liked how like the little ants scurried along the sugar, and I'm like, hey, I like sugar too. I'm like the ants.
They're also using it to solve real-world problems.
I wanted to find a way to help with food sustainability around the world, to help with hunger. So I wanted to make sure that if the kale is more full, it's more able to feed people more.
In the Martin County School District, the opportunities are endless. Just like those ants racing to the sugar, our students are racing towards success.
There's still time for all Florida residents to take advantage of the Martin County School District's priority enrollment window for the upcoming school year. While Martin County students will receive priority, families from inside and outside of the county can apply to attend designated schools with available seats. Applications will be accepted through the Focus Parent Portal, with priority given to those who submit their applications by March 31st. Instructions on how to enroll can be found on the district's website, martinschools.org, and students accepted into a school may remain at that school through the highest grade level offered on that campus. Families should note that transportation will not be provided for out-of-zone students, and we encourage all families to review the available schools and complete their applications early. However, applications will remain open beyond March 31st and will be processed on a first-come, first-served basis. Now let's watch a video of students at Stewart Middle School showcasing just some of the unique programs that are available in our district.
I love the freedom and just being able to build and just imagine. Hi, my name is Penelope. I'm in 6th grade and I take the Exploration of Engineering Technologies class at Stewart Middle.
We're building claw bots and swisher bots for the VEX competition. We have flight simulators, we have bridges that we build. We also build paper rockets that we shoot out of a Schedule 40 rocket launcher with about 70 psi. They go about 300 feet. Kids enjoy them.
I learned sort of how to wire, how to wax motors, and how to put things together. The job in this class that I would really like to do is become an engineer, be able to build planes. That just seems amazing to me.
This is my toy.
Basically, you just like solve the puzzle with all the blocks. My name's Lyndon Eastman, and I'm in 8th grade at Stewart Middle, and I'm currently taking the Marketing 1 class with Miss Armstrong.
In our marketing class, we're teaching them a lot of different skills that they will carry on with them, stuff like computer skills, teamwork skills, presentation skills, being able to communicate and work together.
We've learned how commercials are made and why some commercials are more popular than other. Today we were working on building our own product and making an elevator pitch for it and pitching the elevator pitch. I've had 2 certifications. It's just really helpful to get these certifications for the future. It also helps me with problem solving and just career readiness.
It makes them stand out, so when they do apply for jobs or say they want to get like a part-time job in high school or whatever, they can maybe even use that towards working somewhere and say that they have that certification.
A lot of people might say, I can't be an engineer, I can't be a pilot, I can't be an astronaut, and I want them to leave Stewart Middle School saying I can be an astronaut if I want to, or an engineer or a pilot.
It helps me stretch my imagination and learn how to use it better and apply it into the real world.
The Martin County School District's book vending machines are continuing to inspire a love for reading among students, recently catching the attention of WPTV News Channel 5. At Citrus Grove Elementary, students shared their excitement about earning special coins to select books from the vending machine, books that they'll get to keep forever. This initiative, made possible by the Education Foundation of Martin County, is part of the For the Love of Reading program, which has been engaging students and boosting literacy across all of our district schools. As one student perfectly described it, the vending machine is a big machine of wonders because books truly open up a world of possibilities. Let's watch.
I wish they had this when I was in school, but it's found a pretty unconventional way to get kids hooked on books and reading, and it's convenient too.
It's just so neat. Tanya, you recently went to the campus where a vending machine is proving big time, even improving scores.
Yes, and these kids were so excited to show me this vending machine. I spent some time with 4 elementary school students who taught me you can't always judge a book by its cover, or should I say, a vending machine by its cover.
These kids at Citrus Grove Elementary in Palm City couldn't wait to show me the school's vending machine.
I call it the Big Machine of Wonders.
Big Machine of Wonders, why?
Yeah, because books are full of wonderful things.
Saw a vending machine up in New York that was being, instead of snacks or sodas, they were using books. They're in all of our schools here in Martin County, all of our public schools.
I was blown away. I was so excited. It's really fun.
The students earned coins in order to pick a book out of the vending machine. No sugary snacks, but feasting on books to read.
We call it our For the Love of Reading program with the book vending machines, and it's all about increasing engagement and enthusiasm for students over reading.
What about you, Jack?
I was all wild up, but it was in the morning when they don't do prizes, so then I had to get all sad and grumpy about that. But then when I finally came out, there was so many choices that I just had to take 5 minutes or something. I was really excited, and I wanted to reach my first book goal.
The students beaming with excitement.
It's fun because you get to keep the book forever, and you have a huge selection of books that are all amazing.
I believe there's a very strong correlation between our scores and our reading level of our students. And I will say we've never been to a machine where a student says, I don't like anything here. They always are trying to choose. They're not sure what to get. It's not that they can't find one. And then it pops down, it's super exciting. We let them turn around, hold the book up to the camera, I take a picture of them.
I wish they had this when I was in.
And that concludes this month's district update. Until next month, you can find us wherever you scroll. We're on all social media platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Superintendent Maine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to start off my superintendent's update by introducing two special individuals in the audience tonight that are receiving promotions should the board approve their positions. Ms. Kristen Register, who will be our new coordinator of professional learning. If you please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Kristen has been in the district for a number of years and served in a variety of roles, and most recently in our professional learning department as an instructional coach, and has been out at almost every school assisting our teachers, and we're very proud. She's a dynamic individual that's even doing work with our executive team through a book study, and we're just proud to have you in this new position, so congratulations. Yes. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Guillermo Orozco, who was most recently assistant principal at Hidden Oaks Middle School, who will be promoting into the coordinator of student services position and has already hit the ground running on a DOE webinar today. So we just threw him right in there and roll up those sleeves and get busy. But Mr. Orozco has been in the district for a number of years as assistant principal of student services and assistant, just a lot of different roles in a very professional setting, always dressed to the nines and sharp as a tack. That's what he's known for, right? And so we're very pleased and proud of you, Mr. Orozco, and know you will do an incredible job. So welcome aboard. Thank you. I would also like to begin by highlighting 6 schools in our district that will begin advancing to the state level Odyssey of the Mind competition next month on April 12th after showcasing their creativity and problem-solving skills at the Palms Regional Tournament. Remember, we started Odyssey of the Mind last year and only had 2 teams make it to the state level. This year, we've now increased that to 6 teams that have made it to the state level, and we are incredibly proud of Jensen Beach Elementary, Citrus Grove Elementary, Warfield Elementary, Hope Sound Elementary, Palm City Elementary, and Indiantown Middle School. Congratulations. The Odyssey of the Mind competition challenges students to think outside the box, work as a team, solve complex problems in innovative ways, and ties right into our STEM development and support of all of our students. And we definitely look forward to reporting on their continued success next month after the state competition. On February 1st, students from every elementary school in our district competed in the 41st annual Russell Holloway track meet at South Fork High School. These young athletes participated in events like softball throw, relay races, long jump, and the 75-yard dash, showcasing not only their athletic abilities, but also their teamwork and sportsmanship. I want to congratulate Citrus Grove Elementary for earning first place overall for now the 4th consecutive year. I'd also like to give a special congratulations to Warfield Elementary, this year's recipient of the Cheryl Hubbard Sportsmanship Trophy, a testament to their outstanding character and teamwork. Those cheerleaders were up in the stands the entire time, just giving it their all and really cheering on the competition and showing great sportsmanship. They looked incredible, and we appreciate the work that they put in. For those of you that were not able to attend, we'd like to show you a quick recap.
First annual Russell Holloway track meet. All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get this beautiful day started. As you know, this is a time-honored tradition for Martin County, bringing together all of our student athletes from all 12 of our elementary schools for a day of competition, camaraderie, and just a lot of fun and good sportsmanship. I'd like to recognize the man whose name proudly carries the event, Russell Holloway. Though he was taken from us too soon, this track meet gives us the opportunity to honor his legacy here in Martin County. Today, students, this is your chance to carry on that legacy, to get out here on this field, whether you are sprinting, jumping, throwing, or just in the stands cheering on your peers. To our families and parents that are in the audience today, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being there side by side with your students. To our coaches, our staff, our administrators that are here today, helping to support and put this on. Thank you to all of you for giving up your Saturday to be here for our students. Let's make it an unforgettable day.
I definitely thought in that last shot I was going over when Citrus Grove was running towards me. I will get out of the way next year for sure. Celebrating our staff, CBS 12 News recently started a new segment called The Teacher Feature, highlighting school district staff that go above and beyond for their students. We are always happy to celebrate our teachers and asked each principal to nominate someone from their campus who they thought should be recognized. And first up was Miss Elaine Sanchez from Crystal Lake Elementary. Let's watch the quick segment showcasing the amazing work she is doing at her school and beyond the confines of her classroom.
County brings us here to Crystal Lake Elementary School. Elaine Sanchez is a STEM lab teacher who bounces around to different classrooms depending on the subject she's teaching, whether that be art, music, or science. And the amazing thing about Elaine is she's been a teacher here since 2005, and in all those 20 years, she still continues to come up with innovative ways to teach her kiddos both inside and outside of the classroom, like designing this outside learning garden.
There's the mesh and then the rocks. And then what's on top of the rocks? Soil for the plants.
You're very involved in the outside learning garden. So tell me, why is it important to get students excited about this type of learning?
Again, outside is always more fun than inside. They get to touch things, get their hands. Something as simple as a strawberry or a tomato, especially the little ones, they don't actually seem to put together that grows from the ground, from a seed into a plant. You know, the whole life cycle of a plant, life cycle of a butterfly, all of that stuff. Learning it in a book is very different than seeing it happen.
What are some activities and lessons that you created to keep things interesting for not only yourself, but the students?
Okay, so we're just about to start our catapult lessons, where we take peeps and jelly beans and the children build catapults, and it's a force in motion activity, and it's different depending on kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And it's called flying peeps, and they have actual little peeps marshmallows flying through the air outside. It's fun. We make slime every year. That's always a big winner. We have a butterfly garden and a vegetable garden that the kids work on, so just never boring.
So beyond the classroom, you also organize science fair projects. Tell us a little bit about that and why that's important.
Okay, so that's also really fun. Our 3rd through 5th graders do a science fair project where they go through the scientific method. They get to pick their project title. Their teachers help them a little in the classroom. I help them a little in here. They do some at home. Our ceremony was 2 weeks ago. We had 8 winners from our school, so very fun. And it reinforces science, and it gets the parents involved too, because a big part of it does happen at home. So family fun with science.
Our first teacher.
Right, and finally, I'd like to invite our families to attend their child's conference nights at the beginning of next month. All grade levels will be hosting conference nights the week of April 7th, and each event will take place at their student's school from 5 to 8 p.m. Conference nights are also held at the beginning of each school year and are a good chance for parents to check in on their child's progress. As we push into these final 9 weeks, it's especially important that families are aware of what's coming up, and we thank all of our families for attending. Madam Chair, at this time, this concludes my superintendent's update.
Is your student here? Okay. I'd like to call Paige McMahon to the dais to present the Treasure Coast Regional Math Counts Award.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Main.
My name is Paige McMahon. I'm the coordinator of math for our district. And this evening, it is my pleasure to recognize the outstanding Martin County School District students who successfully competed at the Math Counts Treasure Coast Regional Competition in February and advanced to compete at the Math Counts State Competition in Daytona just a few weeks ago. Our MCSD middle school students dominated this year's Math Counts competition, taking home 9 out of the top 10 individual awards, as well as the top spots as the top overall team and the top teams in the ciphering or speed math rounds. Representing Hidden Oaks Middle School, team members Michael Avila, Lorelei McKenzie, Joseph Murray, and Brian Wang delivered an impressive performance, earning the overall top team honors, as well as the top team award in ciphering at our regional competition. Additionally, all 4 team members delivered incredible individual performances, finishing in the top 10. This same team went on to compete at the state competition and finished in 15th place overall. Also from Hidden Oaks, Dylan Gardner and Kayla Glancy received honors for finishing in the top 10 at our regional competition, and both advanced to compete as individuals at the state competition. The Sharks were coached by Mrs. Marie Eli. Sharks, if you'd like to join me at the dais, please. Representing Stewart Middle School, team members Aaliyah Houston, Josh Morgan, Ishan Patel, and Luciana Smith showcased their mathematical talents under the dedicated coaching of Mrs. Sarah Rasmussen. Josh Morgan and Ishan Patel also received honors for finishing in the top 10 individually. The Stewart Middle School team finished 2nd overall at our regional competition and also competed at our state tournament just a few weeks ago. Jaguars, if you'd please join me at the front. Congratulations again to all of our hardworking students and their coaches for their dedication and success in this prestigious math competition. We are incredibly proud of all of their mathematical accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations to all the students. Board information share. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Powers? Ms. Russell? No? I have one very short thing. I had Ms. Falls send each of the board members and superintendent Martin Arts' ongoing efforts for their new building and construction. They hired a new consultant, and they would like to come in April and give us an update on the proceedings, what's going on and what's to come. So I sent everyone this so you'd have it. Thank you. What? I know. Oh, yeah, I sent it later, this afternoon. Later. You'll have it. All right. So, we're going to go on to action items. starting with 3.01, Papillon Health. Ms. Roberts?
I'd like to move approval, but the only thing I wanted to point out was in the description, the line says this agreement is for the 24-25 school year and is not to exceed $100,000 per employee. And I just wanted to be sure that we understood, it doesn't say per employee in the description. So I move approval of this with the caveat that that's $100,000 per employee, as the contract states.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry. Ms. Roberts, motion. Dr. Moriarty, second. School board travel, we have none. 18.02, pre-kindergarten program collaborative agreement renewal with the Early Learning Coalition. May I have a motion? Did you want to say something? Go ahead.
So I will recuse myself since I am employed by the Early Learning Coalition, although this is just a collaborative agreement that we will work together to enroll students in VPK programs. That's part of what we do as the administrative side of the enrollment.
Forward motion for 18.02.
Okay. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Russell, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor? Aye. Please note that Ms. Powers recused herself. 18.03, medical insurance supplement for non-bargaining employees. Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye. I apologize. Did you get, you got it, okay. Thank you. 18.04, ancillary insurance renewals for the 25-26 Employee Benefits Program dental insurance. May I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 18.05, Employee Benefits Insurance, RFP for fully insured medical and pharmacy.
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Roberts, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Right. 18,
Don looks like he's getting up.
oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. Jumped the gun there. My apologies. Thank you.
I thought I was going to get off easy tonight.
I apologize. Sorry to disappoint you.
Mr. Calderon, before you start, I'd like to ask Mr. George, I think something may need to happen prior to Mr. Calderon presenting.
So can I first rescind my motion in a
Yes.
second, so we can take that back? Thank you.
You rescind?
Yes.
Motioner,
Yes.
seconder agrees,
Yes.
and so we all vote.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to rescind carries.
We're going to have the presentation pulled up, so I'll stretch for a second. Don Calderon, Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits, Madam Chairs, members of the board, Superintendent Maine. Alongside me today is Gabrielle Swain. She is our benefits consultant with the Guerin Group. Dustin Keene, our senior benefits consultant with the Guerin Group, had a family member pass away, and he's attending a funeral out of state, so he couldn't be here with us today. But Dustin and Gabrielle worked together on the best and final offers for the fully insured medical and pharmacy RFP. Presenting that in just a second. Okay, we are going to start on page 11 of the attachment, as the first 10 pages mainly dealt with insurance committee-related information regarding medical and dental performance. So we're going to go ahead and get started on page 11. Okay, so just to recap, beginning on page 12, the board directed staff, along with the Garin Group, to issue a RFP for fully insured medical and pharmacy on January 15th. We were here about 3 weeks ago at the board workshop to give you the initial offers, and the three respondents, Florida Blue, Cigna, United Healthcare, were asked to come back with a best and final offer. Since that time, we have had February of 2025 claims come in, and that was included last week as part of the information that was presented to those three carriers for their best and final offers. We're going to get into that in just a second. But just as a quick recap, at the board workshop, the board directed the Garin Group to go back to the three respondents and provide some better premium rates, enhanced terms, including a second-year rate cap, providing a high-deductible health plan at a 0% increase, meaning that for the employee-only coverage, it would be at a zero cost per deduction per paycheck. We decided not to have a on-site representative for a wellness representative, since staff, along with the Garin Group on-site reps, handled that in-house, and to try to improve any wellness funds and discretionary funds proposed. Some additional information that was requested was to provide a list of zero-cost medication formulary that can be offered to the district employees, as well as providing a geo-access report, which allows for the most heavily utilized categories of the medical insurance to provide a report for at least 2 providers within a 10-mile radius for each subscriber. In addition to the 4 most heavily utilized categories, OB/GYN, mental health, podiatry, and chiropractic medicine, the board also wanted some information on dermatology providers. Additionally, the board requested some information on claims experience, as it historical information regarding claims experience through January of the last 5 plan years, what that meant as of the rolling 12, and where we ended the plan year through June 30th each year. The reason why the board had asked that was because in their initial proposal, Cigna had a varied rate cap depending on loss ratio. So this is the highlights of the information. Basically, it shows that in some years, we had a better finish from a loss ratio standpoint in the final 5 months of the plan year compared to the first 7, but it varies from year to year. Okay, and then on page 14, we wanted to show you that the claims experience for February 2025 did come in. We are happy to report that there was a 90% loss ratio for the month of February of 2025, which means that the February 2024 loss ratio of 109% rolls off. It's replaced by that 90%, which allowed the Garin Group a better negotiation standpoint to go back to those carriers. So we were happy with that, and that did decrease the plan to year date loss ratio of 96% and the rolling 12-month loss ratio of 98%. So that's where we were. That's the information that the board requested, and at this point I am going to hand it off to Gabrielle, and she's going to present the best and final offers from the 3 carriers.
Thank you, Dawn. So the good news is you have 3 improved proposals from 3 qualified carriers. Previously, the initial proposal from Florida Blue was a 15.9% increase, and that was across the board for all 3 plans. Florida Blue's revised best and final renewal is a 9.9% increase to all three plans. That's across the board. And since the board asked for a zero-cost option, they have proposed a fourth plan, which is an HMO high-deductible health plan offering only in-network benefits. And it uses that same HMO network that your current HMO plan uses. That would be the Blue Care network. So you'll see that those rates are lower and do provide a zero-cost option for the employee-only tier. It is up to the board if you would like to offer a quadruple offering, or how you would like to handle that piece. Option 2 is Cigna's proposal. So initially, Cigna came in with a 13.1% overall increase. The initial HMO increase was a 16.3%. The initial PPO 117 increase was a 14.1%. And the initial high deductible health plan was a 0% increase to current. You'll see that there are some benefit changes here. Nothing changed from your initial viewing of this benefit-wise, but anything in red is a worse benefit than you currently have, and anything in blue is an enhanced benefit. So with that, you'll see that your HMO plan, which Cigna uses their Open Access Plus network for all three plans, and this is an in-network only plan, is a 9.5% increase overall. The OAP plan, which is the PPO plan, is a 12% increase. And the high deductible health plan is barely an increase at 0.1% over current. So that provides a 7.9% increase overall. Your third option is United Healthcare. Previously, United Healthcare came in with an initial proposal of a 9.8% overall increase. Their initial HMO increase was a 16.1%. Their initial PPO decrease was a 25.6% decrease. And their initial high deductible health plan decrease was 0.4% of a decrease, so almost a rate pass there. You'll see in those blue boxes, those are the benefits that have been changed as was requested by the board for the best and final. So specifically, you'll see that their mental health is now no charge and that they have enhanced their prescription drug plan to match your current benefits. So with that, United Healthcare is at a 2.2% overall increase, 7.7% for their HMO plan. And something to note is that United Healthcare has quoted their NHP network, which is their neighborhood health program or plan. And this network is really only in Florida. So there are 3 additional plans that they quoted with their Choice Plus network for your 17 out-of-state retirees. And those would be at higher rates as well. But for these, there are 3 options that match your current plan. The 7.7% increase to that HMO plan, you'll see a 31.1% decrease to your PPO plan. Now this PPO plan has no new enrollment allowed. You froze that enrollment last year. And their rating system is not based on claims. It's based on more of a manual rate, since your current plan year-to-date loss ratio on that plan is 161%. So they're using a more manual approach to rate that PPO plan at a 31.1% decrease. And then you'll see that your high deductible health plan is a 5.5% decrease. Again, that overall increase is 2.2%. Moving on to the other part of the proposal, which is the value adds, the bonuses, any additional funds added in, which all 3 carriers have made some enhancements and changes. So all 3 are now doing 1 on-site rep, service rep, which you currently have with Florida Blue, so all 3 are providing that. United Healthcare is providing a $130,000 fund in lieu of that second on-site rep, that wellness rep. And you'll see in the discretionary, if you go down, Cigna's added $175,000 discretionary fund, and that is to replace that on-site rep to use as the district sees fit. You'll see for the rate cap, Florida Blue has gone down from an 11.9% to a 10.9% for year 2, and Cigna's at a 10% for year 2. United Healthcare is still at 13% for year 2. Talked about the discretionary. The implementation and technology credits, those are the same as you saw last time, but Florida Blue is doing a $50,000 one-time fund, Cigna's doing a $50,000 annual fund, and United Healthcare is doing a $100,000 one-time fund and a $50,000 annual technology fund. Annual wellness or communication credits, these are all the same as you last saw, $150,000 for Florida Blue and United Healthcare, and $200,000 for Cigna. Cigna has added in a COBRA credit at $5,000 annually, and this can be used to pay your COBRA vendor, which is currently WEX. Wellness programs, we had shown you these last time. Florida Blue has the Better You program, United Healthcare has the UHC Rewards, and Cigna with the Virgin Pulse, or now they call it Personify. You'll see that Cigna has also added Visana, their virtual women's clinic. So this clinic is now in network for Cigna as of 1/1/2025, and it provides a wide range of women-specific conditions and assistance with that and care for those from puberty through menopause. So that is something that they added with their proposal. And then you'll see for the participating contract, Florida Blue has enhanced their terms. So they're still doing the 100% pro share, where if the district does better than expected, you will get a pro share back. However, they're going to guarantee a payment of $300,000 immediately upon renewal, should you renew, and that would be payable on 7/1/2025. Cigna's at the 50%, and United Healthcare is at 100% participating contract. We've summarized all of these at the bottom for you. So you'll see year 1 total funds for Florida Blue, $500,000. And after that, every year ongoing, $150,000. Cigna is doing $430,000 for year 1, and they're also doing $430,000 for every year ongoing. United Healthcare is doing $530,000 for year 1, and every year after that, $430,000. This next page is what you've already seen with the overall network disruption. Cigna still at that 97% in network match, Florida Blue's PPO 91%, and Florida Blue's HMO 81%. And United Healthcare's NHP network 70% of your total providers. As was requested by the board, we looked at your specific specialty utilization and providers in the area. So we had each carrier run geo-access reports, which takes the census of all of your members, and it indicates the percentage of members that have access to at least 2 providers in these specialties within 10 miles of their home. This is not specific to your utilization, but it is based on their networks in the area. You'll see dermatology, 92.1% for Florida Blue, Cigna is at 94.7%, and United Healthcare is at 94.2%. OBGYN, 93.9% for Florida Blue, 99.5% for Cigna, and 94.9% for United Healthcare. Mental health, everyone is at 99%. Podiatry, everyone is around the same area in 94.5% Florida Blue, 94.6% for Cigna, 94.7% for United Healthcare. And chiropractic medicine is also in that same range, 94.5% for Florida Blue, 94.7% for Cigna, and 94.9% for United Healthcare. So we were able, based on Florida Blue's provider disruption report, to look at your specific mental health providers. So these are your actual utilized providers within the past 12 months that we looked at. There are 151 total mental health providers being utilized. Florida Blue, both their HMO and their PPO plan have a 98% network match. Cigna has a 97%, and United Healthcare's NHP network has an 89%. Podiatry, you have 65 total providers that have been utilized in the past 12 months specific to your population. Florida Blues PPO plan has an 86% match. Their HMO network has a 37% match. Cigna's Open Access Plus network has a 97% match. And United Healthcare has a 63% match. For chiropractic medicine, Florida Blues PPO plan has a 91% match. Florida Blues HMO plan has an 89% match. Cigna has a 98% match. And the NHP network has an 11% match. Moving on to prescription drug disruption. So you'll see that this hasn't changed from what we last saw. There would be no disruption with Florida Blue. There would be some positive and negative impact with Cigna, 3.9% positive, 3.1% negative. United Healthcare, 4% positive and 22.5% negative. And that means either a drug would be excluded on this new proposed formulary, or it would be in a higher tier, which means that your members would pay a higher out-of-pocket cost. Zero cost or preventive medication. So currently with Florida Blue, you have medicines that are zero cost to your members, even on that high deductible health plan, as they are considered preventive. So currently with that Florida Blue Condition Care RX program, you have 490 unique members accessing a zero cost brand medication, and you have 906 unique members accessing a zero cost generic medicine. Florida Blue has 20 different HSA compliant classes, 18 women's care classes, 12 general preventive classes, and preventive vaccines, and their total drug number is 4,623. Now, not all of those are being utilized by your members, as you have 490 on a brand, and they could be using the same drug, and you have 906 on the generic. However, this is a high utilization. And Cigna has 8 classes of preventive drugs for 194 total drugs. United Healthcare has 15 classes of preventive drugs for 636 classes of preventive drugs. Moving on to scoring. So again, you have 3 very well qualified proposals here and proposers. They're all very capable of administering your medical and prescription drug plan, and ultimately is the board's decision on which one to go with. But with this, we have Cigna ranked number 1 at 98.13. That is due to the fact that they have the least network disruption. And then they have the second lowest pricing. Florida Blue has 96.87 points, and UHC is very close with 96.41 points, with UHC having the lowest cost, but the highest disruption network and pharmacy-wise. You can see our scoring methodology on page 28. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Dawn.
Yes.
We have a 5 o'clock time certain, so I'm going to ask you guys to just wait a few minutes so we can get the public comments in. Thank you for your presentation. Citizen input is vital to the improvement of our district. Most times your remarks may be listened to without comment from the board members or superintendent. This does not mean they are heard with any less intensity or concern. Where appropriate, the superintendent and staff will investigate your comments and report back to you and the board with an answer. We thank you for taking the time and having the concern to make our district better. Your presentation to the board should not exceed 3 minutes. Letters or statements from others not present can be given to our clerk, who will be sure that each school board member and the superintendent receive a copy. To keep our records straight and authentic, our policy does not permit you to read the statements of others into the record. Our first public speaker will be Dr. Hess, followed by Matt Theobald.
I've been here before, Dr. Hess. I'm the commander of the Stewart Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 59. And we're the only flotilla in Martin County. I was here to offer boating safety courses for children here. We are totally funded and prepared to offer free courses to the youth from 14 to 21, plus their parents on a regular basis. I was hoping to send instructors into the school system last year, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it's sort of like when my 91-year-old mother told me that she was in a relationship with her 101-year-old boyfriend. Mom, I don't know what that means. I don't want to know. So something happened with an 8th grade teacher, and so I have another venue to offer you. We teach the 3rd Saturday of every month in Sanskrit Park. We can accommodate about 40 people. We have empty seats every month. We had about 6 auxiliaries running around to teach 6 students this month. It made me crazy. We are funded by the Austin Blue Foundation. The kids that went out Jupiter Inlet a number of years in a skiff and never came back, and their parents fund us for children 14 to 21 plus a parent. So I don't know how to get this information out. I understand that there are banners outside of schools sometimes. I don't know whether we're budgeted for this, but I'd personally pay for those to get that information out, put it in newsletters, anywhere you can. But the 3rd Saturday, all you have to do is Google Flotilla 59 or Stewart Coast Guard Auxiliary, Sanskrit Park. You'll find us right away. You can register online. I don't need to take up any more of your time. We want to teach your kids. They're going to be out in the water. We're a boating community, and I'm scared to death that they won't know what they're doing when they need to. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. I'll get the information to who we need to get it to let people know about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt Theobald, followed by Ian Hodgkin.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Main. My name is Matt Theobald. I'm the president of the Martin County Education Association, a proud social studies teacher here in the district, and a graduate of Martin County Public Schools. I stand before you today not only as a union leader, but as someone who has dedicated his life to this community. Let me begin by sincerely thanking the board members who stood up to protect retiree health insurance subsidies for current employees. Your vote honored a basic principle that promises made should be promises kept. But that brings me to why I'm here, to voice the deep frustration, disappointment, and disillusionment of Martin County's teachers regarding your proposed changes to School Board Policy 6560. Many of these concerns were voiced powerfully by teachers at the last board meeting. I won't repeat those points, but let me be clear. Those voices reflect the overwhelming sentiment of the professionals who keep your schools running day in and day out. And yet, despite knowing that, this board took the extraordinary step of rearranging your meeting agenda to vote on 6560 before the public had a chance to speak. That was not just a procedural choice. It was an act of silencing. You denied your own employees the basic dignity of being heard before you made a decision that directly impacts their livelihoods, their futures, and their families. That is not leadership. It's a betrayal of trust and a clear signal that the people who make this district function, your teachers, are being pushed to the margins. We already know that nearly 2/3 of our teachers live outside the district. They make long commutes because they believe in Martin County's mission. But when neighboring districts offer better pay and shorter drives, why would anyone stay? In fact, I no longer need to speculate. I have already been contacted by multiple teachers who plan to retire early or seek employment elsewhere due to this proposed change. This isn't just a future risk. It's already happening, and you haven't even enacted the policy yet. What you are doing is gutting the very infrastructure of our schools, because when you drive out experienced educators, you don't just lose bodies. You lose mentors, stability, institutional knowledge, and worst of all, our students lose everything. We as your employees look to you, the elected leadership, to safeguard our ability to teach, to thrive, and to live with dignity. But this policy does the opposite. It destabilizes classrooms, undermines morale, and sends a chilling message that no matter how long you serve, how loyal you are, or how hard you work, the district will not honor its commitments when it matters most. Let me be clear, this isn't a budgetary necessity, it's a conscious choice. a choice that will define your legacy one way or the other. So I urge you, do not move forward with this policy change. At the very least, postpone any decisions affecting current employees until you've had the integrity to hear from them directly. Do not balance the budget on the backs of the very people who make education possible in Martin County. Do not leave a legacy of broken promises and fractured trust, because once it's gone, it will nearly be impossible to get it back. Thank you.
Ian Hodgen?
Good afternoon, members of the board and Superintendent Main. My name is Ian Hodges, and I'm a student here in Martin County. My time is almost up. I only have 2 years left before I graduate, but I also have a younger sister who hasn't even started high school yet. I want her to have the same opportunities that I've had. I want her to learn from the same kind of dedicated and passionate teachers who have shaped my education and, to an extent, who I am as a person. But if we fail to support our educators now, I worry that those teachers won't be there for her or for any of the students who come after me. Our teachers are more than instructors. They are mentors, role models, and the foundation of not just an educational system, but our community as a whole. They've devoted their time, energy, and passion into assuring that students like me are equipped not only with knowledge, but a deeper understanding of the world around us. They are, in so many ways, the final line of defense against ignorance. And yet today they are being asked to bear the burden of financial constraints that should never come at the expense of those who serve our schools so selflessly. For about a decade now, the promise of retiree health benefits has been a key part of what has allowed this district to attract and retain dedicated educators. To reduce or eliminate these benefits now would not only break that promise, but it would send a message that their service was valued only in the moment, not in the long term. It would discourage new teachers from committing to careers here and could drive experienced educators away when we need them most. I urge you to consider the long-term consequences of this decision. The strength of a school system is measured not by its cost-saving measures, but by the respect and support it provides to those who make learning possible. Without our teachers, our education suffers, and without our education, our future is at risk. These teachers have given so much to this district, years of service, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to our students. The promise of retiree health benefits has been a reassurance that their efforts are valued beyond the years they spend in the classroom. Changing that now would be deeply disheartening, not only for those who have already retired, but for those currently shaping the next generation. It is crucial that we show them the same level of respect and commitment that they have shown students like me. I ask that you protect these benefits and ensure that Martin County remains a place where educators feel supported, valued, and secure, both during their careers and in retirement. Thank you. I sincerely appreciate being given the opportunity to speak today.
Okay. Gabrielle presented the information that we just went over, and I wanted to just say that the insurance committee did meet yesterday late afternoon and reviewed all of the information that Gabrielle just presented, and there was healthy discussion between the committee members, and the first decision that they made was to eliminate United Health from consideration. And the reason being is due to the network disruption, as they thought that that would be a detriment to the current employees. And then there was discussion between the two remaining carriers, which is Cigna and Florida Blue, and ultimately the insurance committee voted 9-5 in favor of recommending Cigna to be awarded the medical insurance and RFP effective July 1st, 2025. So I'm just putting that out there, and I did send Ms. Falls the memo that stated that. However, ultimately, it is the board's decision, and since we're at a good stopping point, I thought maybe we could have some discussion or answer any questions the board may have.
Dr. Moriarty, would you like to speak about the presentation at all?
A lot of data to go through here. Just throwing my opinion out there. I tend to agree with the insurance committee that Cigna seems to be the strongest carrier. Seems like they have the most availability of networks, the better pricing between them and Florida Blue, and the ongoing funds is significantly higher for Cigna. So where I'm at is I feel like Cigna could be a strong choice for this district.
Thank you.
So I had several things that I wanted to clarify so I could have this in my mind. So let me look first to Florida Blue's proposal. So Florida Blue's proposal was not using, correct me if I'm wrong, when I'm wrong. They were not using the existing high deductible plan in order to give us a zero-cost plan to offer our employees. Instead, they came up with an HMO high-deductible plan, which has deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums that are somewhere between the HMO and the high-deductible and the PPO, correct?
Yes, correct.
And their answer to us is we could either take 4 plans, or we could take the PPO and the HMO and either the new high deductible or the old high deductible. So we have 3 choices if we went with Florida Blue as to what we would do with that. Is that correct?
Correct. However, I would recommend if the board selects Florida Blue, I would highly recommend keeping the high deductible health plan 5172 and 5173, because that utilizes a PPO network and allows for in-network and out-of-network benefits, whereas the HMO HSA 128, 129 high deductible plan is in-network only for HMO.
Okay. Thank you. I also understand that with the addition of February's data, that Florida Blue improved their average rate increase, which is across the board, by 30%. They came down 30%, whereas Cigna came down 60% and United Healthcare came down 75%. I would like to say that I'm somewhat disappointed with Florida Blue, that obviously the other 2 carriers understood what those utilization and what those what the usage of our policy and what that meant, adding those 2 months of data, and I don't really feel that Florida Blue really understand that. I think, and I appreciate that they managed to get it under a double digit, but 9.9 is really real close to a double digit. So I mean, I just wanted to point that out. I also wanted to point out that one of the things, I attended the insurance committee meeting yesterday instead of our chair, Mrs. Pritchett, and one of the things that was brought up was about that advanced imaging, which is the CAT scans.
Yes.
And one of the major differences between Florida Blue and Cigna is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that with Florida Blue, if you go in for a CAT scan, it's $300, if you're in the HMO, it's $350 for every CAT scan you get. If you're with Cigna in their HMO, it means you would first have to pay your calendar year deductible at whatever price that is. So the calendar year deductible for an employee by themselves is $2,000. So you would have to pay the first $2,000 of CAT scans at the cost that they're billed, and then you would go to the 20%, but then it would drop off in price, correct?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. I wanted to clarify, if we do go to Cigna, we would be maintaining the PPO freeze, even though we've changed the name, or would we have to specify that to you, that that's what we're interested in doing?
For the record, I would prefer that the board provides that direction. We operated under the assumption that the PPO enrollment would be frozen in this, and we could make those changes as we transition to Cigna if that is the pleasure of the board. But yes, I would like to have that on record. Thank you.
But as part of the memo.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, just for clarification, on page 19, when it looks like that 300,000 is sitting in the Florida Blue column for participating contract, the discretionary credit up above gives Cigna at 175 and United Healthcare at 100. And so those two things are kind of linked together. Is that correct?
Yes, they're all funds that can be used at the discretion of the board.
Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to thank the other carriers other than Florida Blue is, I know that for some time we've been talking about the ability to silo each of our 3 different plans and let rate increases fall to the plan that has the biggest use or the most pull, I guess it would be the best way to say it. And Florida Blue has consistently said that it needs to be across the board. And the other 2 seem to understand that we were consistently asking for something that wasn't across the board and allowing plans to kind of stand by themselves and to take that piece by itself. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Russell?
Your microphone. Cigna is what I was saying, that I feel like we should move forward with the recommendation.
Ms. Powers?
I also agree with the recommendation of the insurance committee, and a lot of what Ms. Roberts said. I thought we were very clear about a zero-cost plan coming to the board for our employees. I know that it's not exactly zero cost, the Cigna plan, the high deductible plan that's offered by Cigna, but it is very, very close. I think it ended up, I did the calculation, and the HMO is actually, you can't get much closer than being dead on $6,500 in the HMO plan, and there's so much benefit lost in the high deductible HMO plan compared to the high deductible PPO plan. I just don't even think it would even be worth offering to our employees. So I agree with the recommendation and to go with Cigna.
I wasn't clear whether it was a recommendation. I thought that the committee they weren't sure which one they wanted, Florida or Cigna. Did the committee push forward Cigna?
Yes,
Okay.
there was a vote of, there was
Okay.
14 members there, 9 voted in favor of recommending Cigna.
Okay. I needed to know that. I wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Oh, and I had just one more thing to Mrs. Powers' statement about the high deductible health plan. In previous years, when there's been just a little bit of difference off of the $6,500 board contribution and that high deductible health plan, in years past, the board has picked up that couple of dollars difference a month to keep the high deductible health plan at a zero cost for employee only. That could be an action by the board for this year as well.
Okay. Thank you.
And Madam Chair,
Superintendent.
yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I would like, if he's willing to, Mr. Calderon, to explain a little more in detail, should the board choose to go with Cigna, to give some peace of mind potentially to some of the audience members off of Mrs. Roberts' comment around the advanced imaging concern.
Okay.
Yes, so we met with Mr. Jeff Carver, our Director of Purchasing, who also serves on the Insurance Committee. And so there's 3 decisions that we are looking for from the board today. The first one is we are requesting that the board direct the superintendent and staff to negotiate a final offer with the preferred carrier, which it sounds like from conversation that would be Cigna. That would allow the Garing Group to go back to the preferred carrier, in this case Cigna, to revisit that advanced imaging discrepancy or difference between what is currently in place with Florida Blue and what they offered, to request them to match what Florida Blue is currently offering. There's no guarantees, but as Mr. Carver has pointed out, it could be a benefit to us. And then that would allow some time for that to occur. And then ultimately, we have a date earmarked for Tuesday, April 1st, following the board workshop, to have a special board meeting where we could finalize the selection of the carrier and hopefully bring you better news regarding the advanced imaging.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we authorize staff and the superintendent to negotiate a final offer with Cigna with 3 pieces added to that. One piece is to pay attention to that advanced imaging piece and see whether you can get something different with that. So advanced imaging. B is specifying that the PPO, which has a new name of OAP, maintain the freeze for new enrollees. And 3, that the board offer the high deductible at no cost, single employee, offer that as a no cost, and let the general fund pay that.
I'll second that.
Can you tell me number 2 again, please?
Number 2 is maintaining the, right now we have a freeze on the PPO.
Okay, okay.
So it's maintaining that freeze, because even though the name of it is changed, and it's now called OAP, to keep that freeze for new enrollees.
I'd second that, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you.
Oh, we have 2 more
Oh, there's 2
things.
more.
There's 2 more.
But
Yeah,
wait, there's
decisions
more.
needed or
Okay.
guidance.
Before you proceed with that, can I
Yes.
say one more thing, Madam Chair?
Of course.
Thank you. When we do this again, and looking at the scoring process, I'm noting that in the scoring, that 55 points of the scoring, typically everybody gets the 55 points. And so we're talking about 45 points on the other hand, or 30, I guess.
30 across.
We're talking about the pricing and the proposer's ability to provide a complete local network, the network access. If there is a way that you can break that into more manageable pieces in the future, so for instance, pull out network disruption and make that a line item, pull out network choice or availability as a line item, pull out prescription drugs disruption as a line item, so that we can see what those pieces are easily. I think it would make it easier for us to not have to go back and get that additional information if we saw that in the scoring piece, instead of having that all lumped together, if that makes sense, just when we do this again. Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so the second decision we would be looking for the board tonight to make is each year we come to you, regardless if we're going out to bid for medical insurance or not, asking if the board would like to continue offering a health savings account for those employees that are enrolled in the high deductible health plan, for those active employees. And the Guerin Group went ahead on page 30. You'll see that they presented 4 options to the board, ranging from $250 annually to $1,000. In years past, it just depends on the board. This year was $750. Years past, it's been $1,000. But based on active employee enrollment as of right now, that would be the cost, ranging from option 1 through option 4.
How many employees participate in the HSA?
Well, all employees that are enrolled in the high deductible health plan have the health savings account tied to it. So the board contributes a one-time allotment for those that are currently on it. They get it on July 1st in the new plan year. For those that enroll when they start, they get it the first month that their benefits go into effect. And then employees have the option of contributing on top of that up to the IRS limits for each year, and they could put their own money towards that each paycheck into their own health savings account.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
429 employees.
Yeah, I knew that. I wasn't sure if they all participated in it, but they probably would, because they get the funding to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And if we didn't do the funding, they still have the option of contributing
On their own.
pre-tax to the HSA.
Yep.
Correct.
And what's the new limit? Is there a new limit this year?
It doesn't work at all.
I think it went up again, right? Yeah. Individual is like, is it like $4,800?
4,300 for a
43.
single, 8,550 for a family, and that's both employer and employee.
So what we do is, when the board makes the decision, we get with the Garen Group and our partners at Bentech, our online benefit enrollment system, and so they do all the programming behind it, so the employees know how much the board's contributing, and then they can contribute up to that difference each year.
Okay.
Yep.
Dr. Moriarty?
So, and last year we did 750.
Yeah, for the current 24-25 year, 750, yes.
Okay, and this is kind of out there, but do you have any idea how many employees contributed on their own?
We'd
Just
have
a
to pull a report.
ballpark?
We
Did a lot, a little?
most do.
Okay, and is there a cap on that?
It's whatever the IRS limit is, yeah. They can contribute up to the current year's limits, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Ms. Roberts?
Thank you. Is there a way, for instance, to say option 2, $500, and then after we see what happens with the advanced imaging, well, it wouldn't even really affect them for the advanced imaging because that's the HMO piece, right? Yeah, never mind. Forget I said that. Thank you.
Yeah, you could wait until, April 1st is fine if you wanted to make a decision on April 1st, but by April 1st, we need to know that information so we can program Bentech.
And I guess what I'm thinking is, in the event that Cigna is not able to do anything to assist with that advanced imaging cost, that we might want to be looking at something, and I don't know, perhaps you can look at it, whether you can drill down on that piece and say that the district will pick up for advanced imaging, we will pick up X number of dollars for the first. Does that make sense?
Well, I think that would be difficult because it's an HMO, so they don't get an HSA tied to their, so it's not like we could deposit $500 into their account for imaging. It would have to be on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, it varies from provider. That would be
And that's
nearly impossible to.
And that's what I
administer.
was thinking of, is if I had to go get some CAT scans or MRIs or something, and then I filled out a form and verified that I had that. I'm in the HMO and I had that. Whether we could give money back from either the ProShare money or do something?
Well, that would be very difficult to administer, Mrs. Roberts, because during open enrollment, that's when employees make their elections to contribute towards their health savings account for the upcoming year.
I'm not
So-
talking about in a health savings account
Oh, okay.
environment. I'm
Okay.
talking about administering it separately, so that if it comes out that you have to pay the first $2,000 instead of the $350, if there's X number of dollars available, so that if you go get a CAT scan and your CAT scan is $1,000, that there is X number of dollars that if you submit the correct paperwork, you could get money back from the district. That's what I was looking at.
Okay, I understand.
That's what, but I think, I don't think it affects your open enrollment piece, et cetera, because you'll have those numbers, your negotiated numbers before that period of time, so we can always add that later, I guess is where I was going with that. Is that?
Go ahead.
I would not recommend that we go that route because of first of all, it's just very difficult for staff to manage. And what's the difference between someone paying $2,000 out or $1,000 out of pocket for a CAT scan or, having surgery and having to meet, like we can't just pick and choose. I don't think procedures, if we're going to do that, then we should just give everybody the cost of a CAT scan and everybody gets it, because there's so many medical expenses that could exceed that $2,000 or whatever the cap is. I don't know. I'll look back. And I just think it's a slippery slope to just identify one procedure in the plan, unless we're going to offer it to every single person.
And I think that we would want to consult with the Garin Group's legal department to see if that would be a possible HIPAA violation for that. Just putting that on record.
So currently, we are at option 3. Is that what we're doing currently? Option 3? Okay. So can we, could we discuss what option we want to do for HSA? Ms. Powers?
Well, I could support, I guess I think what we did when we started making the initial contribution was an incentive to move so that the out-of-pocket, move people off of like the regular PPO to the high deductible. And as you can see from our loss ratios, it tends to be healthier people that are moving into the high deductible plan, but it gives them that cushion that if something did happen, they have that $1,000 or whatever they're contributing throughout the year. I think it's a nice benefit.
So you're saying option 4 or option 3?
Well, we have so much I would like to wait on this item because we have so much going on right now with expenses that we had not anticipated in the millions of dollars, and I'm not comfortable right now making an additional decision like this until we are able to look at that and talk about all of those expenses as a group.
All right, I can support that. Go ahead.
But in terms of an HSA component, does it seem like we have consensus for that at least? We're just kind of depending on which of those, or is it still in play of no HSA?
Well, the HSA comes with the high deductible plan automatically.
You would have an HSA either way that employees could choose to contribute to. It's if the board is going to contribute anything towards it.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
So we can defer that and put it on an item for discussion at the April 1st workshop?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Number 3.
Okay, number 3, I promise it's the last one. If you go to page 32, what we have broken down, another annual discussion about funding is the employee plus family prior to 7/1/2020 subsidy. So the context for this is 5 years ago, the district went from a 2-tier enrollment system to a 4-tier enrollment system, and each year the board has contributed a little bit extra money towards those that were on the, quote, traditional employee plus family coverage. We are down to 128 currently enrolled. And so on page 32, if you choose Cigna, we have 3 options there for you to decide between. If you would like to continue that subsidy as currently stated, that would be option B, which is a blended tier rate. If you would like to absorb the full increase, the amount is listed there in yellow. And then obviously if you wanted to end that, there would be no additional cost, and that would be at 0. So that may be another thing that you might want to just think about and make a decision perhaps on Tuesday, April 1st.
Yes? Okay. All right. Next week. So it's a week away.
Okay.
Just about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. We are up to request authorization to utilize Palm Beach County School District fire alarm parts, repairs, and reprogramming. May I have a motion? Second. Motion by, I know.
One second, So I know that it was stated earlier that during the open to the public, that the public was not given an opportunity to talk about a policy that the board was voting on. And I wanted to say this before the people who were leaving. And I wanted clarification from our school board attorney that, that the board takes no action at a workshop, and that when a board has either the first read or the final read on a policy, that at both of those times that our chair is asking for public comment for that first read and for the second read. Is that?
Mrs. Roberts, yes. And also one of the things I monitor over here as we go into first reads and into especially final adoption, I monitor to make sure that it's been open to the public.
Right, so I just didn't want it to be on the record that we were approving policies or moving forward with policies, not allowing the public an opportunity to speak on those, and that you're given, when you come to a meeting, you're given several opportunities to speak, one during open to the public, and then once again, when it is a policy, either during the first read or the second read, and we have maintained that. I believe that the policy that's being spoken about is up for a second read today, and there will be an opportunity once again to speak on that topic before we act on it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we had a motion to request authorization to utilize Palm Beach County School District fire alarm. I believe, yes, Miss Russell motioned, Miss Roberts second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Request authorization to utilize Brevard County School District BMM OEM bus parts, accessories, and compatible software discount bid. Motion to approve?
I move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Requisitions to be approved for purchase orders over $100,000.
I move approval.
Second?
Motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Request approval to renew St. Lucie Public Schools RFP Integrated Pest Management Services for the period through 3/11/26. May I have a motion?
Move approval of the bug guys.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Request approval to renew St. Lucie Public Schools fresh produce and pre-cut package items.
Approval of 18.11?
No, 18.10.
1810.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
18.10?
I have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 18.11, Stewart Middle School Enhanced Security, additional items approval. May I have a motion?
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. We will now have a public hearing for comment on instructional materials recommended for adoption. Dan Moore. Do I have any public comments on this? Please. Seeing none.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Main. It is my pleasure to walk you guys through our instructional materials adoption process, where we're at, and preview you on what is next. So first and foremost, I want to thank our instructional materials adoption committee members. We had teachers from each school representing, we had designees from each of our board members representing, and we appreciate their hard work and countless hours that went into these instructional materials reviews. So for this year, we are looking at 4 different subject areas on our timeline. We have personal financial literacy and money management, English language arts intervention materials, mathematics intervention materials, and English language arts K-12 core materials. You'll notice that for the first 3, that is for adoption and implementation next year. English language arts was moved up a year by the state, but we do have 3 years to implement, so we're going to keep our original timeline through next year, and then we will implement our ELA selection in 26-27. So we initially presented all materials for review to the public starting in January 6th to February 6th. That was the time for our committees to review all the materials from the different publishers, which we'll walk through shortly. Also, public was available to comment through our portal, and those materials were presented to our committees as they considered their recommendations. The public review window opened after the committees provided their recommendations, and so that has been open since the 7th and will stay open till the 25th. And today was our opportunity for public hearing for these materials. You will not vote on these today. They'll be voted on April 15th once we complete this window, and then we have a 30-day window before those recommendations are final, so we can't purchase anything after that 15th vote for 30 more days. So our adoption process is comprehensive, 7 sections, 41 questions, evaluating content, assessment, teacher support materials, format and organization of those materials, instruction, addressing the needs of all learners, digital components. Public comments were provided for each of those resources, and so not only did our committee members evaluate it, everything was published and available to our community so they could review. Any parents, community members, stakeholders that wanted to review were able to review and provide comments through our public comment features. And then we had a publisher presentation for clarifying questions for our committee where we did share those public comments that were presented to address any concerns. And at our committee meetings, they did do a ranking, and you guys will be presented with our top 2 for each area tonight. So as we look at the different areas of the rubric, I won't read through all of these for you, but we did pay careful attention to content areas aligned to scope and sequence, Florida standards, specific tasks, promoting critical thinking skills. We wanted to make sure the content was accurate and understandable for our students. We wanted to make sure it was presented objectively and in alignment with Florida statutes. We know that laws have been changing, so we want to make sure that everything is aligned to the direction of the legislature. And we wanted to make sure that applications were accessible and content area was thoroughly integrated. Teacher support materials was another key component of the review. We wanted to make sure that teachers had what they needed to be able to support their students, materials for remediation and enrichment. And so this year we did guide our committees on when they're looking for remediation and enrichment materials, we want to make sure that we can scale up and scale down the material. And so typically when we're looking at those remediation materials, there's been a focus in the past on struggling learners, but we wanted to make sure that whatever we picked for 25, 26 and beyond was able to meet the needs of our students that are academically successful and want to stretch their knowledge and abilities. Instruction is another key component that was evaluated, 5 specific areas in the rubric. Wanted to make sure that everything was clearly aligned and addressed prerequisite knowledge and skills that are necessary to learning new concepts, consistent alignment across standards. Wanted to ensure there's multiple instruction methods to engage and motivate students, and we want to make sure that materials provided highlight ways to address common mistakes or misconceptions that happen through the instructional process. Addressing the needs of all learners is another key consideration. So again, we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of not just struggling learners, but all learners, whether they're gifted students, ESE students, ELL students. We wanted materials that accommodate all learning styles to make sure that we are successful on our journey to the #1 school district in the state. And we also wanted to make sure that all ancillary materials provided for comprehension across all levels. Assessment is a hot topic. We wanted to make sure that all of our materials had assessment components that were varied and frequent to support progress monitoring and give us data as a school and as a district to drive student success through data-driven decision making. We wanted to make sure assessments range from diagnostic to evaluative, and then electronic formative assessments and instructional units could be customized and scored electronically. So we want to be able to plug those assessment pieces into our own data visualization tools so that we can provide better data to our schools to drive instruction. And then the format and organization of the materials, making sure that Florida standards are provided for all instructional content so it's easy for teachers, instructional leaders to align that content. We wanted to ensure that visual information is meaningful and facilitates learning when it comes to charts, graphs, photographs, etc. We assess the sequence of learning, making sure that's educationally sound and developmentally appropriate, and we focused on the readability level and vocabulary development, to ensure they were appropriate. Additionally, we did review digital components, ensuring that all materials had a digital component and that those components enhance and complement instruction, making sure there's online access to text, making sure that's interactive and not just static materials, making sure they support instruction for review and enrichment of content, and that they're usable with our interactive whiteboards. So first we'll talk about English language arts. We had several So we had 8 companies that were interested in being our vendor for ELA K-5 materials, Benchmark, Amplify, HMH, and McGraw-Hill. After our committees reviewed, after their vendor presentations, the top 2 in no particular order are Benchmark and HMH. For 6-8, we had 3 additional companies, Amplify, McGraw-Hill, and Savvis. After our committees reviewed, McGraw-Hill and Savvis were the top 2 selections. For 9-12 and ELA, McGraw-Hill and Savvis were the only 2 that submitted for review and were the top 2 in committee recommendations. English language arts intervention materials, which will be for implementation in 25-26. We had more submissions for intervention materials for K-3. We had Age of Learning, Amira Education, Benchmark, Curriculum Associates, EPS Learning, Heinemann, Lexia, McGraw-Hill, Really Great Reading, Savvis Learning, and Wilson Language. After committee review and vendor presentations, the top 2 were Lexia Learning and Wilson Language Training. Mathematics intervention for K-4 was also on this year's timeline. We had several submissions from Amira, Curriculum Associates, which is iReady, Greenbox with Discovery Education, Do the Math with Heinemann Publishing, HMH with Florida Weigel Math, McGraw-Hill with Number Worlds, and Savvis Learning with Florida Focus Math Intervention. After review, the committee selected Number Worlds from McGraw-Hill and Ready Florida Best Mathematics from Curriculum Associates. Finally, we have personal finance, financial literacy, and money management. We had 5 companies submit to be our vendor for these materials: Budget Challenge, Personal Finance and Money Management with eDynamics, Florida Focus on Personal Financial Literacy with McGraw-Hill, Managing Your Personal Finances with National Geographic Learning, and Foundations in Personal Finance with Ramsey Education Solutions. After committee review, the committees recommended the top 2 of McGraw-Hill, Florida Focus on Personal Financial Literacy, and Ramsey Education Foundations in Personal Finance. Those are the recommendations from the committee for public hearing today. And we will have our public review window still open until the 25th, and we will have a vote on the 15th for your consideration.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you. I just wanted a clarification. So for the reading intervention for K-3, it's the Wilson's Foundation, not the Wilson's other one, correct?
I believe
I think there
so.
were 2 Wilson. Is that right?
It's the Foundation's K-3 for Wilson.
Okay. And I want to thank you all for making it so easy to access the portal and to get in to look at the materials. And I would also like to request that after the window for public comment closes on Thursday, March 27th, that if you could, I'm particular, and I'm sure the rest of the board is interested in what those public comments are, so if you could forward those to us.
Absolutely.
I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Anyone? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, we are going to do first review of school board policy. I have 20.01, 1231, outside activities of administrators.
Move for
Move.
approval of 20.01.
Second.
I have Ms. Russell motion, Dr. Moriarty second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, should we have? I regret I did not ask for public comment. Is there anyone who would like to speak on any of these policies first review? Thank you. 20.022420, School Patrol. This is a rescind. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. 20.033231, outside activities of staff. This is a new policy. I have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.045410.01, promotion, acceleration, placement, and retention.
Move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.055505, academic honesty. This is a new policy.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. 20.065860, safety patrol. This is a new policy.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.076210, fiscal planning.
Move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, a second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.08, procurement code of ethics. This is a rescind policy.
Move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.09, construction, contracting, and bidding. This is a new policy.
Move approval.
Second?
A motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. 20.10, pre-qualification of contractors for educational facilities construction. This is a new policy.
Move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.11, instructional materials allocation.
I move to approve 20.11.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Moriarty, a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. 20.12, Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA.
Move approval of 20.12.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Russell, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.13, pre-qualification of contractors. This is a rescind.
Move approval.
Second?
I have a motion by Ms. Powers, second by Ms. Russell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.14, environmental health program.
Move approval.
Second.
Ooh, that was a tie.
Yeah.
Third.
A motion by Ms. Powers, second by Dr. Moriarty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 20.15, small unmanned aircraft systems.
Move to approve 20.15.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Moriarty, second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. 20.16, artificial intelligence, AI. This is a new policy.
Move to approve 20.16 AI.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Moriarty, a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now have a public hearing of School Board Policy 6560, retiree health insurance. Do I have any comments from the public?
Good evening again. My name is Matt Theobald, speaking as an individual, and I would just like to reiterate the current employees' opposition to any changes to School Board Policy 6560. I appreciate what you guys did to protect the current retirees. and the stand that you all took on that. But changing horses in midstream when your employees are dependent on that horse to keep their heads above water is really just a disastrous thing. So again, I urge you not to make any policy changes that affect current employees and their future retirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none.
So just to be clear, this policy is only for employees that have retired prior to June, that retire prior to June 30th, right? This does not infect anyone who is our currently employed that doesn't retire before June 30th.
Don Calderon, Director of Risk Management and Employee Benefits. So yes, Mrs. Powers, to answer your question, this is the existing 6560 board policy. Staff worked with Terry Harmon to gather all of the board consensus and motions that have been made over the past several workshops. And this policy is for those that have currently retired or will retire by June 30th, 2025. And then at the April 1st board workshop, there will be a new policy, I believe it's going to be called 6561, that will contain a retiree health insurance policy for those employees that retire on July 1st, 2025 or after.
And do we know, I'm sorry, can I ask one more question while you're standing there?
Yes.
What is the economic impact of this on an annual basis? Do you recall off the top of your head just this piece for policy 6560?
I don't know off the top of my head. I've got information all broken out here, but I have a lot of the information for after July 1st, 2025, because that's what we presented on at the last board workshop.
If we took a break, is there a possibility you could give us a ballpark?
Yeah,
All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess, or 10. What do you need?
well, let's say 10.
Okay, 10 minutes. Thank you. We're calling this meeting back to order. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Calderon.
thank you. I was able to pull up the January 14th board workshop for retiree benefits and obtain the information that the board was requesting. So when we were here in January, we took a look at the two buckets of people, the two buckets of retirees, those that are under 65, who receive a percentage of the board's contribution, and then those that are over 65, and they receive the Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy. So for retirees under 65, when we obtain this information, for the 24-25 year, based on the current retirees that are under 65, it was $510,000, and then it decreases each year from there, because as those retirees turn 65, then they move into that other bucket of over 65. So we have Gabrielle and Dustin put that together. And then for the over 65 employees who are retired, they receive a Martin County Health Insurance Subsidy. And there are a total of 764 retirees over 65, and that is an annual cost of $1.1 million.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Do we have any comments from the board here? I need a motion.
I move approval of 6560.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Roberts, a second by Ms. Powers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
And,
Yes.
Madam Chair, just for the record, the next policy is coming to us on April 1st for the workshop, just board discussion. And then it will come back for advertising at the 15th, and then final approval in May. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Open to the board. Roberts?
Sorry, I'm getting used to my little card there. I'd like to thank the staff for taking care of the SAT glitch. Not that they took care of the SAT glitch, but for being so responsive and providing so much information to the parents and to the students that were affected by that. I think that was really important. Of course, that glitch was something that was completely out of our control, but our ability to be able to give everybody some closure and explain to them what was going on, I think was commendable. I also had attended 3 performances at our high school: Cinderella at South Fork, Charlie Brown at Martin County High School, and Phantom of the Opera at Jensen Beach. I have to say I was a little bit apprehensive about the taking on of the Phantom of the Opera because that's such a large production, but all 3 of them were wonderful and they exceeded my expectations. And then in case you missed it, SPAM, our robotics team 180, competed in Orlando this last weekend. They were the #1 team going into the finals. In the finals, you play 2 out of 3 games, and they crushed it on the first 2, so they were clearly the winning alliance in that, so that was really good. But more impressive than that, or really more impressive than that, was they won the Impact Award. And the Impact Award is the award to win from FIRST Robotics. It recognizes their community piece, it recognizes what they do, it recognizes their integration and their promotion of STEM, et cetera. And I think that Kirsty Germain has done a couple clips on that and has pushed that out there to social media. But if you see it, watch it, because it is very impressive. And they do mention the Martin County School District and the Martin County and our collaboration with them. That's all. Thank you.
Dr. Moriarty?
You know, in Derek Lowe's presentation about the vending machine book thingy, what was it called? The Big Machine of Wonders.
thingy.
Yeah, I thought that was an incredible piece, Derek, that you put there. And I reached out to Lisa Rhodes, and she said that we have them in all of our traditional elementary, middle, and high schools, and the Hope Center for Autism. And they also give books to Spectrum, Willoughby, and Riverbend too. So what a great project, and kudos to Lisa and the Education Foundation for their efforts there. I think that's just a great tool that inspires kids to read and learn. So kudos. That's all I have.
Ms. Powers?
I just wanted to, over spring break, we did a collaboration between Moorfield Elementary School and the Kiwanis Club of Indiantown to build out the Kiwanis Closet in the school. And Closets by Design donated their time and the complete custom closet and installed it during spring break. So I haven't actually been out to see it yet, but I plan to go out later this week. So really excited about that. And I know Ms. Russell has poured a lot of her time into making sure that everything is so organized in the closet. So it's been a really great community effort. So I hope we'll get to do something, a little ribbon cutting, and in the future, and we'll let everybody know about that when we set a date.
Ms. Russell? I was actually able to go out there yesterday and hours. It looks beautiful. I'm so excited. We will finish next Monday. And we're going to finish it up and hopefully have a ribbon cutting. I did want to say congratulations to the SPAM team. Such an accomplishment.
And aren't they going to Houston next?
Yes. April 14, 15, and 16.
Yes.
Superintendent Maine, you're good? All right. With that, we're adjourned.